Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Code. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go.
Now it says, why do you think it's hard for trolls or those on the outside to believe you have a dedicated fan base when the success of your channel should say all there is to know? Because they basically have manufactured a narrative to try to justify their actions. So their narrative is this crazy. Just think about this, how nuts this is. And by the way, the blimp, I still have not, I don't see anything about your tip yet. I'll keep my eyes peeled. To this day, my trolls slash detractors slash whatever you want to call them, they literally say the following. You ready for this? Phil really only has like 2 or 3 people who support him. That's it. There's like 2 or 3 people who like his content. And they come back and they just keep supporting him by doing everything. Now, they do it under a variety and vast network of different names and identities, but they're all exactly the same person, right? So, Only Ice Coffee and Planet Jeff are responsible for 99% of the support I've received in the last 10 years. Or some insane thing. They actually say that, right? And listen, there are people who have come and gone who have been very large contributors to my content and have spoken up and become notable in the community and stuff like that. So it could be understandable when you had someone like Only Ice Coffee, who at one point was doing tips and gifted memberships and everything for a long time. Or Planet Jeff, who way back in the day was the person who gave me my biggest tips. It was actually Planet Jeff who came in here and gave me like a $2,000 tip one day. Okay? So when you have those kind of people who come by and they do those contributions, people, oh, I remember that, I remember that. But in reality, the truth is, and this is just like anything in life, all right? Not everyone stays a fan of stuff forever. And not everyone sticks around and supports forever. There's people who go through different phases of their life, different parts of their times of their life. You know, I've had people who started off as supporters, stopped watching my content for the longest time, came back 10 years later, said, oh, I'm watching you again, and supported again. You know? Vice versa, I've had people who, like, never could support back in the day, and now they come back 10 years later, they're like, so just so you know, I used to watch it, you know, in 2011. I loved your stuff. It's awesome to see you continue on in 2024. Good on you. Here's some support, right? So that's the thing. Like, these people, I say it like this, in life, it's a revolving door. You're not going to be popular all the time with everyone, but you're going to have people from different times that are going to be coming in and out of your life as supporters, as fans, as viewers, as people who we talk to every day on the streams. And that's fine. That's to be expected. You know, when I was younger, I was the biggest fan of the Angry Video Game Nerd and the Nostalgia Critic. And then when I became a YouTuber, I stopped watching all of their stuff entirely. I, every once in a while, go back and watch some more of their stuff, and I either like it or I really dislike it. It depends, you know, things change in time. But that's just life, right? So, the fact that there are people, all right, who essentially have been there for me during times when I really needed help, and they helped me, is amazing, right? It's so cool. But I don't have 2 people who support me. The whole reason that I have been able to be successful for 16 years is because of the reasons I've already described tonight. I'm a variety content creator. I'm always playing different things. So you have different people from different, you know, interest levels. I like a fighting game. I like a shooter. I like an RPG. I like a, you know, this or that. And they come by at different times and they all like it. And every once in a while, they toss a few bucks here. They support here, right? And that's great. That formula works. That allows me to appeal to a wider audience than most other creators who are only hyper-focused on one thing. You understand? So that's the cool part about it. It's always been this big group effort. I mean, I remember when I started on Patreon years ago, I was like, listen, $1 a month from a bunch of people is more effective than $100 a month from a couple people. Really? It would add up better and bigger in that way. So, why do these people not believe that I have people who actually like my content? Because that breaks their narrative. Their narrative is, actually, I'm some kind of a scam artist jerk who doesn't make anything meaningful to anyone. I'm somehow using these ridiculous abilities, these mind-controlling abilities to come through the internet and grasp onto people and grab their wallets and rip their wallets out of their pockets and toss their money my way. I want you to think of how ludicrous that sounds. All I'm doing is sitting around doing a podcast, doing playing a game. hanging out with you guys, talking like tonight. That's all I'm doing. Tonight, did I ask for anything? Look at the support. I didn't say a word. We're just chilling. I was explaining why I can't play Fightcade. That's all. That's it. And look, people like me. People like my content. They want more of it. So they support it. People realize that the more that they support, the more consistent the content can be. You know, no interruptions, no problems. I think I've shown over the last couple of years my willingness to improve, to spend some money to actually improve the setup or do things that are different. You know what I'm saying? I haven't gotten a new PC yet. That's probably the next major thing. But outside of that, you know, take a look. People like who I am and what I do. But their narrative is so hyper-focused on making me look like a horrible villain. That's how they make their videos. That's how they do their streams. If the story doesn't fit the narrative, all of a sudden they look like assholes, right? Wait a minute. So we're making fun of someone who legit has a fan base who likes him, who doesn't make toxic content that's harmful, and he gets support because people genuinely find entertainment out of what he does, and that's why they want to continue, so they support him. No, their narrative is, oh, there's two guys out there who are rich, and they're nutty, and they just keep throwing money at Phil nonstop, and because of those two people, it's the only reason why Phil can ever be successful. First of all, I was successful before those two people even existed as part of my content. You understand? I had a fan base. One of the reasons why I am still pertinent is because I've been around for 16 years. True, if I just started 5 years ago, I probably wouldn't be pertinent anymore, but now I'm a meme. I'm literally known on the internet as the guy who doesn't give up and will be around forever and outlives everything, right? And it may be inexplicable because I'm a small-time guy and no one really, you know, is in love with my stuff in the mainstream, but still people are like, damn, he perseveres. You know what I'm saying? So it's a fascinating thing. But again, the detractor rationale is to always belittle, downgrade, straw man, right? The whole OIC and Planet Jeff straw man argument is ridiculous. Do you really think that two people are responsible for all of my income? No, that's an insane thought. To even say that is nutty and crazy and stupid. But that's what they propagate. And their community is so dumb and gullible. They believe it. They actually believe that. They believe that, no exaggeration, that all these people that have come and gone over the years, you know, 1 Minute Man, the person who gifted the ridiculous amount of tier 3 subs over on Twitch when I was there. I can't remember who that was at this point. Remember that? There was the month where someone came by and gave like a ridiculous amount of tier 3 subs over there and it insanely boosted the channel over there. That Planet Jeff with the big tips that he's done, the Only Iced Coffee with his contributions, you know, that all these people are all exactly the same person. They actually believe that. They're that wildly stupid. Who's the other? Jinx, who last year came by for like a month and kept tipping nonstop and then gone for a while, right? As we've seen him once in like the last 6 months, he should have stopped not one stream. But apparently that's the same person. No, these are not. They're not even close. These are people who genuinely like the stuff. They come by and they support when they can, and then they're off to their own lives again, right? And that's much, 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 much appreciated. It is, you know? And again, in life, it's a revolving door. People will come in and out as they will, and there's no stopping that. There's no holding the door and forcing people to stick around to watch the content and support it. They leave when they want. They come by when they want. And that's fine. That's part of the nature of being an internet personality or a content creator, is that you're never going to be able to control who likes your stuff at one point, who dislikes it, who stays, who goes. It's just a natural part of the order of how it works. Okay? But in reality, all right, it's a ton of people. It's a ridiculous amount of people who contribute to my content on a daily basis. Not only, you only see this side of it. You're seeing the public stream side of it. There's a whole back end side of it. There's people who pledge to a Patreon. There's people who are watching my videos, doing super thanks on the videos, who are members every month at different various levels. There's people who are supporting my React content, people who are supporting my throwback content. There's all these different people. Do you all think that they're two people? Are you fucking stupid? But again, that's the narrative, because that basically deflates the narrative that I'm meaningful. Because here's what I've started saying recently. Is film people say to me, what do you think, you know, is good about your content, or what makes you stand out? Because my content isn't harmful. I'm 16 years in this business. I have a ton of experience under my belt being a video game content creator, right? I have experience in all these different genres. I can talk honestly about my thoughts about gaming and the landscape and how things are going business-wise and everything. I can compare game genres to each other and everything. I've been around for 16 years doing this. So I have experience a lot of people don't. But my content is not toxic or harmful. I'm not sitting here crapping on some other YouTuber to get people to attack each other, right? In order to have a good night. Oh, business is slow tonight. Let's do a shit on someone's stream or something like that. I don't have to do that. So many YouTubers have taken that low road, and I haven't had to do that. And I'm happy about that. You know? And so for me, that's why. To know that my content is meaningful to an audience, that they like it enough, that they know it's not toxic, they can come and relax and enjoy and truly have a good time with me every time that they stop by, then they'll support it. But that breaks the narrative of my detractors. Their narrative is always, I'm the worst person, it's the worst content, no one supports it, no one watches it. It couldn't be further from the truth. It's a lie. It's a lie. But that's their lie that they propagate so they can make toxic content about me. Because if any of that stuff is fake, they have absolutely, positively nothing to say about me. I'm just some boring guy. So they have to keep that shit going, right? The nonsense. It's so stupid. Okay. So, there you have it. Now, by the way, how's the poll going? It looks like Straw Hat has won, so I'll get it. I have a ton of shout-outs to do. Seriously. And all I'm doing is sitting here talking with you guys tonight. And I have a ton of shout-outs to do right now. So give me a sec. Let me grab my hat. Yeah. A ton of shout-outs to do. Now I look like I'm ready to hit the cabana and have a pina colada or something, right? Or a Mai Tai. Like, I'm ready. Okay, let's start. I received an $8 tip. Hold on. Once again, here's another one of their insane detractor memes. See this? Here it is. Another thing that's a complete falsehood. But again, this has to be true for them to be justified in the things that they say and do. Do you understand? So that has to be true, which is not. This is another stupid detractor meme. Hold on. Those of you who are watching on demand can't see it. It's just another one of these stupid, you know, fake member bomb bullshit things. There we go. Okay. Done. Fixed. Okay. But again, that is their narrative, their fake narrative that they spin to try to make me look like a villain, and it's all untrue. And people who actually like my content don't believe that, right? They don't. They're like, what are you, out of your mind? You're insane. Another stupid thing that you would say. It's bullshit, right? Okay, I got a $1 tip. Someone says, so you say, hold on. When you say detractors make theories about you being supported by only a handful of people, can you admit there's some streams that are generally supported with one supporter? For example, sometimes you'll have $55 in tips and 50 came from one person. Doesn't that happen? Yeah, so what? What's your point? First of all, that doesn't happen every stream. That does happen some streams, but it's not every time. It's not always the same person who would do that one big tip. The point that the detractors make is it's the same two people. That's not true. Tonight, there's a bunch of supporters, and they're all different. Tomorrow, there may be one big supporter on my daytime stream and a bunch of little ones, but then on the night stream, there may be a different big supporter and a bunch of little ones. Why does that matter? What is it? What? There's no point. You understand? There's literally no point to saying one person did a big contribution and a few did a little. It doesn't prove any point at all. It's just like, you see, he had so few people who support him. Wrong. There's a ton of people who support me. A ton. That's how I'm successful. That's why I can have a stream with 300 people on it, but have a really good night. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not what these idiots say. It's literally a group effort among people who like different kinds of content. Right? So there's no point to what you're saying unless you can come back and actually say, I have a point. Here's what I was trying to say, because you had none. Then, but there's no point to what you're saying. It proves nothing. It does not even an argument. It doesn't even make it. What are you even saying that for? Okay. I have received an incredibly generous, you ready for this? $56 tip from Jared tonight. $56 tip from Jared. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the third time tonight, and 3 different people, right? You get to see me in a diaper. Third time tonight, filling a diaper. So thank you, Jared. We're going to see what he has to say. I can't even count anymore. 228? Holy moly. Did I think I was going to have a night like this tonight? No. Thank you guys so very, very much. So much. Thank you. So, Jared says, well said, Phil. I've been a fan since your Batman Arkham Asylum demo footage from all the way back in 2009 when I was still in middle school. Now I'm 24 and I'm glad to support you. Much love. You see the point I'm making. Because I've been around the block 16 years. I stayed dedicated. I never gave up. There's people who like me and come to support the content. May not be every day, may not be every night, but they come by and they support when they can, and that's why I continue on. I'm not a flash in the pan success. I'm not a has-been or a never was. I persist in a different form today than I did over a decade ago, but I persist as a success. And that's the narrative that the detractors will never admit to, because that means everything they say is wrong and therefore has no validity, and there's no point for anyone to ever watch it. There's no point. Oh my God, this guy doesn't understand. This is the guy from earlier who says, just listen, I'm just going to read it word for word. Here's my point. You said you have a ton of supporters, but so many streams have been carried by 1 or 2 people. I have a ton of supporters. Every once in a while, they'll throw $1, they'll be a member, they'll do a super chat. Then sometimes I have some bigger supporters come by and do a bigger contribution. But I still have a ton of supporters. I don't understand what's so hard to understand about this. I don't. I'm really at a loss, like, what don't you get? I have a ton of supporters. Likely thousands. They're not always here at the same time because I do a variety of content. Some come for the podcast. Some come for impromptu chill streams. Some come for fighting games. Some come for shooters. Some come for RPGs. Some come for everything. But they're all split. But overall, I do have thousands of viewers for my content. They come by at various times to support in different ways. Super chat, become a member, gift memberships, tip. Some people do those things on my other channels. Some people pledge to my Patreon. I mean, I can keep going. These are all ways that all of these different people support. Just because one person comes by and does a $50 tip and one person comes by and does a $2 tip, it doesn't make a difference. They're still 2 people. I have a large number of supporters. You can't disprove that because it's factual. If you try to disprove it, you're wrong and you're stupid. I don't know what else to say. It's just dumb to argue it. Just because it's the detractor logic doesn't make it true. You see? And again, it's something that I've always said. All right? It's a community effort is why I'm still here. Literally a community effort. All those people together contributing in the various ways that they do is why I continue to be successful after 16 years. That's it. It's a community effort. It's not 1 or 2 people coming by. It's not just OIC and Planet Jeff. If you think that, you're clinically insane and you should check yourself in immediately. And I'm not joking. You need help. That's nuts. Sheesh. Okay. I don't even know how else to make it clearer at this point. I really don't. I don't know how you could make it possibly clearer. Okay. Let's see here. Avarice says, we see different names of supporters who come by and contribute every day. Exactly. You see it every day. All these different people. Thank you, Venom Snake, who says, we're with you. Keep up amazing work. You're the man. The Blimp says he keeps separating the streams. The stream isn't what's supported. It's the channel. Well, exactly true. right? The streams are where a lot of my support come in, but there's also people who are also watching the videos. That's ad revenue that I make. There's people who are members. They don't ever come to the stream, but they're still a member of the channel. That's support. It's like, how many more times can I explain logically and factually something to you before you realize your logic is flawed because you're listening to stupid idiots who just want to make toxic logic to try to prove a narrative that's false? I would not be here and successful today if I did not have positive people who like the content I put out supporting me. This is not a channel where I degrade myself doing stunts, sucking cucumbers and kissing cocks. This is not a channel where I read out detractor messages that insult myself and my family members. This is not a channel where I constantly talk drama and gossip. This is not a channel where I slam other YouTubers. I don't do any of that shit to get attention. I make positive content for an audience, and I curate the content specifically because that's what they want. And in truth, they then support me because of it. Most YouTubers do not do this. They don't. They make content that's either lowbrow, lowest common denominator, just to stir up attention, or they have a mass appeal to a giant audience, out of which actually just a small amount contribute, but their audience is so huge, it ends up being a huge amount. I'm the opposite. I make content for a smaller audience, but that audience likes me so much, they all support in their own way, and it adds up to being success. If you don't understand that I'm different from everyone else out there, you've missed the note. You haven't paid attention to the 16 years that I just did things completely differently from everybody else, and that's the reason I'm still here. You won't ever get it then, because you just want to listen to the wrong morons. You don't actually live in reality world. Sorry. I'll still be here tomorrow having fun being successful, and you'll be miserable writhing around in your bed, hugging your Hatsune Miku body pillow and humping it furiously in agitation that I'm still here and positive and successful, and you're still a nobody crying with your detractor friends about the fact that I am successful. Okay? Sorry. Alrighty, everyone. So we're starting to wind down. I obviously want to thank you all. Okay? Okay, here we go. The detractors want to continue their narrative. Lease on Luxury says, what would happen if those few people stopped donating? Could the community be viable for the business? Yes. Because this has happened time and time and time and time and time and time again. Whenever one person walks out of that revolving door, someone else walks in. That's how it works. When you're a content creator that makes positive content, that's exactly how it works. You're going to see people walk in and out of your life constantly, and it's okay. Because as long as you're still there as a staple, continuing to make that style of content that's meaningful to people, some people will come back, and you'll get new people, and it will continue. It might not always be the same faces. It might not always be the same people. Hell, I've had different moderating teams over the years. I've had different people who do work for me behind the scenes and help me out over the years. But it doesn't matter, because as long as I keep up the good fight, keep doing the good stuff, right? People like it and will keep coming in to support it no matter what. All right? It's been 16 years, highs and lows. I've been on where? On YouTube, on various different YouTube channels, on Blip TV, and on Daily Motion. I've been on Twitch. I've been on, excuse me, all these other places. And guess what? People still come with me. They're still with me along for this journey, right? Hasn't gone away. You don't know what you're talking about, right? Like, what on earth are you speaking of? And so now, wait a minute. You literally just changed the narrative. Just listen to this. What about the fake narratives? This is fragile. You're 4 years away from your bankruptcy. The Save the House fundraiser. Whoa. What is your narrative? You don't have one. You literally just changed the story 3 times. First, your narrative is, I don't have enough consistent supporters. If a few go away, I fail. That's happened a million times, and I'm still here. I just explained. Well, what's the next thing? Where's the next goalpost? Okay? You are in a crazy mania. Your mania has taken over your small p brain, and all you can do is think about the next thing to say negative. They're all false narratives. You are an insignificant human. You don't matter. It doesn't matter what you say in the chat right now or what you do. You're insignificant on this planet. Here's what you need to do. Get away from your device and go do something with your life that will affect someone in a positive way. And what you're going to find is that that is going to be way more meaningful both for you and for everyone else around you than for you sitting in your false narrative land, believing your toxic nonsense and thinking that it has any bearing on me or my life. It doesn't. I will still be here tomorrow and you'll still be miserable humping Hatsune Miku in your bed. All right? So do yourself a favor, get the fuck off my stream, get a life, and get the fuck into something positive. Because, man, your toxicity is embarrassing to the human race. You are literally an embarrassment to human beings on this fucking planet. Go away. Yikes. I just got a $6 tip from the Blimp. We love you, man. Screw him. Thank you to the Blimp for another tip, a $6 tip. I appreciate that very much. I mean, these people can't even maintain a coherent thought for more than 10 seconds. The guy goes from detractor talking point to detractor talking point. He just bounces around parroting the same shit. And every time that something's, countered with a logical thing to disprove it, oh, I got to get to the next one. I got to get to the next one. I got to get to the wait, no, you already look like an idiot. You don't get to now say 10 more things. You're already a moron. These people are just so dumb. They really don't understand it. There's no reasoning with someone who's so far gone. You just have to have them have a moment of realization at some point in their life that they're going to try to be better people, But sadly, I don't know if these people ever will. It seems like what's happened is there's this community of people who have this mania in their head, and they actually, no exaggeration, have formed communities of relationships, online relationships, of course, but relationships nonetheless based on toxic behavior. The only way they even get human interaction or any kind of attention is toxic behavior. So they have to keep that up, or else now they have to realize that their lives are miserable, trite, meaningless. So they keep that toxic community going no matter what. Even if the narrative's completely false and fabricated, that's the only way that they feel like they have a meaning in their life. That is ridiculously pathetic, sad, and dangerous. We can't have a society within a whole undergroup of people who literally just sit on their devices crapping on things all day. This is not productive. This is awful. This is going to be the ruining of human society if we allow it to continue. If you know someone like that, you have to go call them out and be like, get the fuck out of your room. Get the fuck off your phone. Stop being a toxic douchebag to everything around you and get a life. Spend 5 minutes getting real life friends. Spend 5 minutes doing something positive with your life that is meaningful to other people around you. Stop being toxic. You're not going to help anything on earth. You're just going to burn this fucking planet down if you keep acting that way. It's insane. That guy, can you believe what the guy was saying in the chat? It literally, he was one detractor narrative. Okay, well, here's why that's wrong. Next one, next one, next one, next one. Rapid fire. Like he has his list, his checklist of shit, so he can copy paste them all in the chat. Dude, what the fuck is your problem? Like, wow, you need help. How do you not understand it? And again, why don't they get it? They literally have a community of thousands of people who act like that around each other, right? It's insanity. If you contribute absolutely nothing positive to anyone on this planet, right? Why do you exist? Is that not, that should be the ultimate goal of every person, to at least put something out in their life that brightens the day of someone else, that makes someone else have a smile or feel good, right? Do something nice, and then we can all get along and we can all have a nice life together. Live and let live. Instead, everyone's got to burn down, attack, destroy, deride, be just gross to each other. How the hell can you go through life like that? I just don't get it. I would love for one of them to come up with a new narrative that hasn't been regurgitated for the last 5 to 10 years, because they don't have one. It's the same shit now in a loop. Because in truth, at one point in the past, I used to care so much that people would say this shit about me that I would go out of my way to try to defend myself or actually counter the narrative. But after a while, I'd say it was about 5 years ago, I realized no matter what I said, they would just come up with another one. So I just stopped. I realized at some point, it's becoming more harmful for me to waste time trying to defend myself than to actually just say fuck it and ignore it. And that's what I just started doing. So fuck this and ignore it, right? All these morons out there make documentaries and shit about me, fucking interviews. What has it done? Nothing. I'm still here I still make the same content. I still have a great life. They've done nothing. They personally benefited because, trust me, they wouldn't have made the content if they wouldn't personally benefit from it. They're doing it for themselves. That's it. It's the only reason. No one else needed to be interviewed on Side Scrollers. I had to be. Why? Because they're going to get a benefit out of that. That's why. So, there you go. So, you know, these fucking nut jobs, man. You know, I don't know how you can go through life like that. But that's the thing. Like, I just stopped 5 years ago or whatever. I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to entertain the nonsense because all that does is lets them get more content and waste my audience's time. You guys don't want to sit here listening to me talk about every fucking conspiracy theory that comes out of their mouth. I've already talked about most of them and they don't care. They continue anyway. So what's the point, right? What's the narrative? The narrative is they jerk off to each other all day, every day. You know, and I ignore them. And I continue on happy, and they're sitting there miserable every day. Well, who's the winner? You know? They're out of their minds. All right. So we're about to adjourn, everyone. What a night. Holy moly. We've talked about so many different topics at this point, right? Last chance if you want to ask something. Last chance if you want to shout out for something. I'm going to be gone in about 5 so minutes. So, last chance. Let's see how we end it here. The Blimp says, it's literal projection. These people lack something in their lives. Then they rationalize bad behavior towards someone that's targeted as a means to not address their own shortcomings. Exactly. I've always said this, too. Even if everything they've ever said about me was true, which 99% of it isn't. Some of it is because I am a flawed human. I've made mistakes over the years, and I've changed for the better. I feel like the last 7 years of my life have been an epiphany where I've turned everything around, and I'm a much better person now, correct? But even if everything they've said is true about me, am I still the devil? None of the things that I've done that they're claiming are real crimes or anything like that. It's just, some bad behaviors that we don't like, right? And so if you don't like the bad behaviors you accuse me of, go away. Why do you still stalk me every day? Why are you still watching? Right? Because you benefit from it because you make money on it. That's why. If there was no money, there'd be no detractor community. I stand by that. Right now, I'll prove the point. You ready? Right now, to prove the point, I dare every one of these idiots, the memologies, the duty streams, the restreamers, all of them, demonetize your content for a whole month. Right now. Do it. Be men. Be real men. And demonetize your content for a month and prove that you actually do it because you have a reason to do it. Because you feel like you're doing something good, a service, instead of we're just doing it to make money. I fucking dare you to demonetize your content for a month. Won't do it. Because you do it for money. That's why you make up the stuff to begin with. You're fucking full of shit. You have no actual morality. You have no leg to stand on. Nothing. You're wastes of life. Not a single one. I already did this before. I did this a couple years ago too. I said the same thing. Never worked. They will never do it. Because the only reason that they do it was for the dollars to begin with. Right? So. Enough of that. Anyway. Thank you everyone. I think I'm ready to adjourn. What a night. 2 hours of just chilling and having fun and various honest topics and good times. And thank you so much for the overwhelming support. It is greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. And one final thing, I will say this. I started off doing this. I'll say this again. FYI, I'm one man and you are many. Undoubtedly, tons of people will watch this tonight, right? People who are here, a good amount of people live, but there was also probably a good amount of people watching on demand. Please understand, like I said, there was a misunderstanding earlier today. Someone who I know thought that I was literally directly like attacking and insulting them on my stream earlier today. I literally wasn't. I don't even know what they're referencing or what they said, but they actually sent me a message after the fact saying, I'm really hurt at what you said to me. And I was like, I didn't say that to you. I didn't say your name. I certainly didn't time you out or anything. Like, if I was angry with someone in chat, I would address you directly and I would time you out for it, right? Like, for example, that idiot detractor who kept derailing and moving the goalpost, he's gone. So he knows who he is. But, like, I think some people, sadly, they listen to my content and they misconstrue what I'm saying as something like, oh, my God, Phil attacked me. I didn't what I'm saying is something like, oh my God, Phil attacked me. I don't even generalize thing. If I am talking directly to someone, I'll do my best to call you out, say your name. And if you get timed out or whatever, you know, you messed up. Not, you know, I'm not always just attacking someone. And this, I feel bad because this is a person who's a nice person. And I think that they really just, they had a bad day or something and they thought that I was attacking them. I totally didn't even say a word to them. I don't even know what they said in chat that they think I attacked them for. I have no clue. So I apologize to anyone out there who ever thinks that like I'm accidentally attacked or I'm attacking you directly or whatever. I guess sometimes it just happens again when I'm talking in generalities or whatever. That some people would misconstrue something, but you know, I apologize for that. I'm a flawed guy. I'm a one human. I'm trying to do a stream that talks to and entertains hundreds at a time. It could be a daunting task. Sorry if anyone ever gets the wrong idea. Okay? All right. I think that's it. Let's adjourn. Thank you all. A great night tonight. I had a good time with all of you, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Excellent.
I got the drip going. 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 I got the drip going.
It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean, these dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.